Hello and welcome to our course today. I'm Janet McKee, Holistic Health Counselor, and we're here today to teach you about the health benefits of juicing. I have seen throughout my entire career as a health counselor, so many people benefit from doing fresh juicing as part of an overall diet that's rich in plant foods. And many people will say, well, why would you juice instead of eating the whole food? And let me explain. It's very clear and very simple. Yes, we want you to eat a diet rich with whole plant foods so that you can get fiber and get all the wonderful nutrients from the fruits and vegetables that you're eating. But when you add fresh juicing on top of a healthy plant-based diet, you get added benefits. We've seen it through the years with our health clients because we would see very serious and sometimes terminal illnesses reverse when they included fresh juicing on top of a plant-based diet. And so we saw it anecdotally, but we didn't really understand what was truly happening from a scientific standpoint. But now we know there's been scientific research that has begun to prove why fresh juicing is so healthy for the body. Now, we're not talking about bottled juice that's sitting on the shelf in the grocery store. We're talking about fresh, unpasteurized juice. And luckily, even if you don't have the equipment or the time to juice yourself, you can find some fresh unpasteurized juices in the health food store today. But what we're going to do today is show you how to actually do it yourself. But what the science is showing is that you get more of these beneficial nutrients from the plant foods when you juice. So by removing the fiber and extracting the antioxidants and the phytonutrients from the juice, from the cells of that plant, it becomes more absorbable. So even if you are having digestive problems or you're not absorbing your nutrients well, you drink this fresh juice and all of the nutrients and the antioxidants and the phytochemicals absorb into every cell of your body. I often say it's almost like a blood transfusion. You're just like taking in all of these nutrients and they're nourishing every cell of your body, and your body's not working hard to digest. So you bring in these nutrients and your body's also able to release things that it shouldn't have hanging around anymore. So your cells take in these nutrients, and also at the same time you're detoxifying at the cell level. So if you ever consider doing a fast, I recommend a juice fast over a water fast. But even as part of your everyday diet, including fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, a wonderful plant-based diet, whole grains, beans, but you add fresh juicing, you will begin to see the benefit. What's the most fascinating thing that I learned recently was when we were creating our film Bethany Story, about a girl that was paralyzed, told she would never walk again. She began to do a raw vegan diet, high juicing as part of that, and she resolved her paralysis. We went out and interviewed medical experts from across the country. One of them is a brilliant dietitian named Brenda Davis from British Columbia. And in the interview with her, she was talking about why these fresh juices have been found to be so healing for the body. And what she explained to me is, like, when you eat a carrot, you get so many milligrams of beta carotene, but when you juice it, you get 4 times more. And beta carotene is a powerful antioxidant that helps fight illness at the cell level. But also what she explained to me, which was fascinating, is that when you juice and you remove the fiber, what's in the fiber is actually some anti-nutrients that prevents you from absorbing all of the wonderful nutrients from the plant. So yes, you need fiber, you need a high fiber diet rich with plant foods, but I encourage you to consider, especially after today, when you add fresh juicing on top of a plant-based diet, you are going to feel better, more energized, and get the added benefit from these beautiful plant foods. I'm particularly thrilled today to be here with my son, Nathan McKee, who also is one of the photographers and videographers for our company here at Sauna View. And Nathan, explain to the audience what inspired you to consider juicing.
Well, in January, I went down to the Raw Living Expo with you, and when we first arrived, I noticed how healthy and happy and vibrant everybody was. There was even a couple, I guess they were boyfriend and girlfriend, they were giving out free hugs to everybody, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And so we walk in, and there was a bookstore, just, like a table set out with a bunch of books on it, and one of the first books that I saw was all about juicing, and in the front of the book it had a bunch of different ailments and issues that you could have, and it had all the different juices that would I guess, be kind of like a solution to any one of the problems that you might have. And one of the issues that I had a couple years back was really bad skin problems. And so one of the first things that I saw in the book was a solution for acne and other skin issues. And so I picked up the book and I turned to that page, and it talked all about different kind of juices. But then one of the strongest ones that they had was just straight wheatgrass juice. And so it was kind of ever since then that I was interested in juicing, and especially wheatgrass.
You can imagine, as his mom, I'm thrilled that he is interested in eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. And now that he's juicing, I'm just on cloud nine because I know how healthy it is for you. So it was kind of interesting that we went to Hippocrates prior to that, and you had firsthand interaction with their experts on juicing and wheatgrass. As a matter of fact, you created a video for our website. What is the one about sprouting?
Yeah, it was Brian Hetrick's course about sprouting and different kinds of ways to grow sprouts, and all about how to do sprouting in your own home. And but they had a whole section there for wheatgrass. They had their own little, I guess it was kind of like a shack that they had a bunch of different juicers, and they had a fridge that was only designated to wheatgrass. And I learned a lot about how to juice and different ways to grow wheatgrass and their secrets to how they get their wheatgrass to be sweet instead of bitter. And so it was interesting.
So that video will soon be available on our website. So you definitely have to take a look at that. That is very incredible information that you won't see anywhere else unless you actually visit Hippocrates Health Institute. So we have with us here some wheatgrass. Nathan's going to show you how to juice it. But before we do that, I just want to give you a little idea about the actual juicer. If you are going to go out and purchase a juicer, try to get the best quality juicer you can afford. The most important thing is that a juicer can juice greens. And very few juicers can actually juice wheatgrass because it's so fine and delicate. It's very different than juicing like a big hard carrot. So making sure you get a juicer that juices green leafy vegetables would be worth the investment. There are several out there that I would recommend because I think they're a good value for what they provide. My favorite one happens to be the Green Star juicer. I'm going to show that one to you. There's also the Omega juicer, would be something that's a little bit less expensive, but I'll explain one of the differences. And there are a few other ones out there, so be sure to try. Please let me recommend, though, get the best quality juicer that you can afford, because I've had so many clients come to me and say, oh, they tried juicing, but they got so disgusted because they would put a pile of produce in, get a little bit of juice, and a pile of pulp coming out. And then you're going to be frustrated, and then you're not going to continue juicing. A really good juicer, you put a reasonable amount of produce in, you get a nice big glass of juice, and a little bit of pulp coming out, and the pulp should be very dry. So keep that in mind. Investing in a juicer is well worth it. So let me just show you quickly here, this Green Star juicer. It has this little fruit knob on here, and of course it comes with an instructional video. This is their elite model. They also have a base model that I think is excellent. This is the cover for it. But the thing that's really fabulous about this is we have these components. This is the screen. It's the fine mesh screen that allows the juice to come through but holds the pulp back. And this, I think, is the most fascinating part of this juicer, the dual gears. And this juicer, that's why it's a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but it's the only one that offers this. And these are really heavy gears that are magnetized to help pull some of the nutrients, and they very slowly crush the fruits and vegetables to extract the most you can from that produce. And the slow masticating juicer is something that you want to consider because it doesn't heat the juice, which could damage some of the nutrients. So the way you do this, there's 2 dots on this, 1 dot on this gear. You put them together like that and put them into the juicer. This screen, a lot of people complain about cleaning the juicer. They always say, oh, it takes so long to clean the juicer, it drives me crazy. Well, that's not a good attitude to have. What I like to recommend is you want to have the attitude that juicing is fabulous for you. And also that you're going to juice, you're going to drink your juice. While you're drinking your juice, you're going to clean your juicer. And it only takes a few minutes. And it's so wonderful for you to juice, it's worth the few minutes it takes to clean the juicer. But let me show you a trick. With this Green Star, this is the only part that's a little bit tricky to clean. They're going to give you this big toothbrush looking thing to help clean the juicer. A trick I learned from a friend of mine is if you go in and scrub it from the inside, it actually breaks the hold that some of the fibers have, releases it, and then you can rinse it underwater and it's clean. Little trick on that. If anybody has detailed questions about working the juicer, then you can feel free to contact us at SaunaView and we'll be glad to help you. Just want to make sure those gears are in there nice and tight.
And it really doesn't take that much time to clean. By the time I juice my wheatgrass and I have all that taken care of, it's clean and done even before I'm done drinking my little half glass of wheatgrass juice. So it's not bad at all.
No problem. With the wheatgrass, which Nathan's going to show you, one little trick too is, this is such a thorough juicer that the wheatgrass juice can come out a little bit foamy unless you do one of two tricks. Either you put a dab of oil, nice extra virgin organic olive oil, or you could put a little bit of flax oil on the gears before you juice, or some of my clients keep the gears in the freezer and they've noticed that when they do that and they juice the wheatgrass, it doesn't get foamy. So let's go ahead and do some juicing of the wheatgrass. Tell me, Nathan, what have you learned about wheatgrass that's so healing?
Well, wheatgrass is, from the research that I've done, it's one of the world's most powerful detoxifiers, and so that was a big thing for me because of the skin problems that I have. I read that it was both outside and inside were the issues, and I figured, well, I have pretty good hygiene, so it has to be the inside, and so I thought, well, since wheatgrass will detoxify the liver and things like that and clean the blood, and so that's how I became interested in doing wheatgrass, and I figured it was pretty potent, and so it's gotta do the job. So
right, do the job. So one of the theories behind keeping a healthy body is to alkalize your body, and the pH, you have a pH of your body, and your body's always trying to work to be slightly alkaline. On a scale from 0 to 14, 7.3 to 7.5, so on the alkaline side. And we find that eating green leafy vegetables, a lot of colorful fruits and vegetables, but especially greens, help alkalize your body and helps prevent illness. Well, wheatgrass is one of the most alkalizing foods you can take in. So let's go ahead and, you like to just do the wheatgrass straight?
Yeah, we'll do just straight wheatgrass. Sometimes I like to put apple and lemon in, or just apple, or just lemon, but it's kind of a taste thing. Wheatgrass isn't exactly the best tasting thing in the world, and so you can either just take it straight, and they just recommend 2 ounces of it per serving, and so I figured 2 ounces isn't that much. I'll just hold my nose and drink it down, but
Some people love the taste. Some people struggle with the taste. People that really struggle with the taste, I do recommend they start with some lemon and apple to make it taste better. Because it's better they get it in than not get it in.
Yeah. So after you put the olive oil in, just turn it on and get the oil to go around on the gears, and then just take a handful of it and put it in the top. And then juice will start to come out of the bottom. And with this specific juicer, pulp will come out of one end and the juice will come out of the bottom. And so I like to have 2 little glass containers to put underneath just to catch both. And sometimes a little bit of juice will come out where the pulp is supposed to come out, and you can just put that in with the rest.
And we're just using a little bit of wheatgrass here, but when we're all going to do a bigger juice next, and we're going to switch those and put the larger container under the juicer to catch the juice.
Make a little bit more.
Sure, because we'll both have some.
Yeah.
So give us the energy to keep going and
Yeah.
touch more.
I like to do this as many days in the morning as I can before I start to do anything else.
Much better than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because this energizes you and supports you and mineralizes your adrenals. Coffee just gives you sort of a stimulant while it depletes you at the same time. That's why later in the day you get that afternoon drowsiness.
And wheatgrass, after you clip it, can be kind of messy because it's grass, and so it'll go everywhere. That's okay. All right.
Did you want to show putting some lemon and apple in?
Yeah, sure.
So-
With apple, I like to use the tamper.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the apples don't like to just go right in like the wheatgrass. But the apple juice that comes out of here does make the wheatgrass juice a lot sweeter and a lot better to taste and a little bit more enjoyable.
Especially for someone the first time. Piece of lemon would be
Yeah.
good. I only juice things that are organic, by the way. Now, we can't always eat organic. We try to. We've even recently, Nathan and I started an organic farm about an hour from our home here, which is really exciting. We're going to be growing our own food. We already started. We'll actually show you some of the things. But when it comes to juicing, I will only juice something that's organic because I don't want to get absorbed into my cells pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. So if you can't find lemons that are organic, then don't juice lemons.
And with the lemons, you can either put the whole section of lemon in with the rind and everything, or you can just squeeze it into the juice afterwards. You want the whole thing in?
There's actually some antioxidants in the zest of the lemon, which is the outer skin. So when you juice it, you get some of the benefits of that lemonine, which is really wonderful for helping your body fight illness. Oh, that looks good. It smells good. I'm excited. And so far, we've got absolutely no pulp on this thing. This is amazing juice, right? I have to say, and I'm not a salesperson for the juice company.
See, that's a little bit messy.
That's okay. We're using the little one. We're going to use the bigger one in a minute. All right.
There's that. Okay, that works.
To good health.
Yeah.
Love you. I love it.
Yeah, with the apple and lemon, it's a lot better than just straight.
Wonderful for you. Okay.
You can get your 2 ounces of wheatgrass juice in the morning and do that as many mornings as you can.
Okay, so now we're going to do our next type of juice
Okay.
recipe. And we have some other ideas too, but this is sort of my standard morning juice. So after we juice some wheatgrass, take a shot of wheatgrass. I like to do a nice full glass of fresh juice. Always the most amazing way to start the day. And as I mentioned, you want a juicer that juices green leafy vegetables because I always start with greens. Anything green and leafy. And this is amazing. Anything. It could be spinach, romaine, kale, collard greens. I love when, let's say I'm making a fresh kale salad or using kale, and you know how often you strip the leaf and use that in your meal, but you have the stem left over. I always save my stems and can juice my stems. If you're cooking with broccoli, you can eat the stem, but if you decide not to for a particular dish, juice your stems. So it's wonderful. Also, juicing helps you from wasting a lot of foods. But this time of year, look at what Mother Nature is offering you. See what's in season in your area. She is telling you what your body needs, so pay attention. Right now, in this area of the country where we are, we can get dandelion, fresh organic dandelion. Dandelion is also extremely wonderful for detoxifying your liver. I remember growing up, my father from the old country, he was born and raised in Italy, he would put dandelion in our salad. And I used to be so embarrassed. It's like, oh my goodness, we're so poor, we have dandelion, we have weeds in our salad. And meanwhile, it's so healthy. Like, never had any idea what my father was actually doing for our health and well-being. So I love to juice greens first. Another green that I love to juice is when I get beets with the tops. Beet greens are excellent to juice, and so are the beets. So if you get this type of a food at your grocery store, out of your garden, this is wonderful to include in the juice because you can include the whole part. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to chop the greens off.
One of my favorite juices, if I don't have time to juice and I just run to the store and pick up a juice that they have on their shelves. One of my favorite ones is anything that has beets or apple or lemon in. I like the color. I think it tastes really good and light. It's not something heavy and.
Color's really key that you mentioned that because when you do juice with beets, if you do enough beets, the juice actually looks red. It looks like a glass of wine. So people are like worried to drink something green. I hear that a lot from clients. Then put beets in there and make it red, and they will feel more inclined to give it a try. So I always like to start with something green. So I'm going to go ahead and put some greens in here. And what we're going to notice is I'm now switching this to have it. As we should, especially when I move on to some of the heartier vegetables. So we're seeing some pulp coming out of there. So we got some beet greens. Okay, let's put some dandelion in there. This is awesome. All right, so we're growing this organic produce at our farm, Sonneview Farms. Please come visit our farm someday. We're so excited. It's not only for creating produce, but it's a teaching farm. We're going to teach you all about healthy living and how to grow organic foods and permaculture concepts. But in my little garden here at home, I have some weeds growing. And one of them is lamb's quarters. How do you like this coming out of my garden? So everyone else is picking weeds out of their garden, but me, I noticed that lamb's quarters is a wonderful wild edible. Extremely good for you. So what am I gonna do? So I could juice the entire thing, stem and all, but I'm just gonna throw some in here and show you. So now you need to be somewhat knowledgeable on what edibles are, what wild foods are edible. And luckily I've had some people teach me through the years a few things, and lamb's quarters is one of them. As a matter of fact, lamb's quarters is so wonderful and so elegant. We're even including it in our luxury salad mix that's coming off of Sonneview Farms, and all the local chefs, high-end chefs, are going crazy over it. So you start with greens, something green. It's really easy. First put the greens through the juicer because the juicer's still on the clean side and those gentle greens come right through. Then I like to include something watery to make it refreshing. So celery is a really great thing. As a matter of fact, if I put it this way, the greens will just grab right in there. Really good for natural sodium that helps support your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. I also have cucumber. Again, I'll only juice if it is organic. Celery and cucumber make the juice watery, refreshing, and more pleasant to taste.
One thing that I always thought was interesting as a guy that didn't know a whole lot about juicing is I'd watch you in the morning just throw everything that we had in the fridge into a juice, and I always thought that was interesting because it's not like you have to have specific ingredients. You can kind of take, whatever's left over in the fridge and throw it in there, and you have something, that's really good for you. And I always thought that was kind of cool.
Especially this time of the year, if you overbuy produce and you don't know what to do with it and you're worried it's going to go bad, just juice it and drink it. People say eat your fruits and vegetables, but sometimes you can only eat so many vegetables a day. But when you juice, you get more servings of vegetables in an easy way. Now we're going to make the juice taste better by adding some interesting things. We're going to add some carrots, and that's really easy to find organic and easy to grow organic. You see, it's a little bit harder, so I'm going to put some muscle in there and push that through. And then we're going to add those beets. Beets are really sweet and wonderful, so that's also going to make it taste good. But see what's in season in your area. Let's say there's grapes in season. I love if I can find at my local co-op, food co-op, if I can find organic red grapes with the seeds, which is really hard to find, I grab them up. They're like gold to me, and I juice them. Because if you ever heard of grape seed extract, we put that right in, seeds and all right through there. I love in the fall to do pomegranate seeds, fresh cranberries. See, so include in there with your greens and some of your basic things that are in season, and make it interesting. You don't have to get bored with this. So we did things to make it taste better. Plus we're gonna add some more apple. But then there's a couple other ingredients that I just wanna mention that add additional health benefits that are outrageously good for you. I love to include some fresh ginger root. Really easy to find in the grocery store. Little piece of it is strong, powerful anti-inflammatory, wonderful. As a matter of fact, one study showed that high doses of ginger was equivalent to prednisone in terms of anti-inflammatory benefits. So
and that's it's also good for stomach aches and things like that, right?
Exactly. If you're nauseous or you're having some stomach problems, brilliant, very good. Especially people going through certain medical treatments. Juicing fresh ginger is really wonderful. Or do some ginger tea. You can shred that, put that in some hot water. Also, look what I found, turmeric root. Wow. Turmeric is a powerful spice in terms of anti-inflammatories. It's really rich with antioxidants. So You know me from the website that I have an autoimmune disease, which I have had no issues with for many years. One of the things I try to include in my diet every day is turmeric because it's a really wonderful anti-inflammatory, which so many illnesses come from inflammation as the beginning of the illness is an illness of inflammation. Okay, so ginger, turmeric.
So how much ginger and turmeric do you use that's not going to be overpowering for the juice?
Definitely start with a little bit at first and then play around with that. If you put too much, it's really strong. The ginger is really strong. Turmeric, you don't really taste a whole lot, at least I don't. But ginger, go gently until you understand how much you can tolerate in your juice. Also, let me mention that when I do green leafy vegetables that could be a little bit bitter, when you add a piece of lemon, it seems to balance it really nicely. So keep that in mind.
Also, if you do the lemon without the rind and you just squeeze the lemon juice into the juice afterwards, it's not going to be as strong on the lemon side. So if you don't want that much of a lemon taste, you can always do that.
You can also peel the lemon and just throw it through the juicer. So let's taste this. I like to stir.
We can use the same glass, so it's fun.
Gets a little bit foamy on top, so if you just stir it up. Oh, this came out nice and red. We're going to be so healthy and so energized all afternoon.
So if you're the kind of person that doesn't like a green juice, then you can get something red like that with the beets and everything else that we put in it.
Awesome.
Good.
Yay.
It's nice and light.
Yeah, true. It's not heavy in any particular flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So also, let me just mention, you can do all kinds of things with juicing. You can add blackberries, raspberries, tangerines, whatever you have, like play around with it, make it interesting. If you are concerned about consuming fruit, maybe you have a yeast overgrowth like candida, or you're being really careful if you're dealing with cancer and so forth, then at Hippocrates they do one that's a whole lot of sprouts, different combination of sprouts, and they do cucumber and celery, or something that's just mostly greens, but they do it in a very refreshing way, which is wonderful. Let's say also you're not feeling well and you feel like you're coming down with a cold, or you're dealing with wanting your body to boost your immune system to fight cancer. Garlic is actually an amazing thing. So in something with greens, cucumber and celery and some lemon and lime, and some of these other things, you can actually even throw in a clove of garlic. And it's really quite good that way. If you want a savory type juice, you can also juice tomatoes. So tomatoes and some herbs and some garlic, imagine it tastes sort of like a fresh tomato sauce, sort of tomato juice, and really wonderful. So have fun, play around, enjoy the process of learning and experiencing fresh juicing, and I promise your health and your well-being will improve. Thank you, Nathan, for joining me today.
Absolutely.
I really